Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at Oxyneuron India Private Limited. They operate under the brand name Moseta.
Right.
We've got a company presentation here that a listener sent in. And our goal really is just to cut through the noise, understand their vision for, a greener future, and see what clean energy products they're actually offering.
Exactly.
So if you're looking to get up to speed quickly on something maybe new, this should give you a pretty clear picture. Let's dive in.
Okay. So yeah, we're working mainly from this one presentation document, and the idea is to really pull out the important bits about Oxyneuron, or Moseta, I should say. What are they innovating? What are their products? What are their ambitions in this whole clean energy space?
All right, so first off, the presentation mentions they're a self-capital-based business.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that actually mean in practice? What's the significance?
Well, that's actually quite important. Being self-capitalized, it usually means the founders or the company itself has put in the initial money. So they retain a lot of control. They can focus on their long-term vision, maybe, without constantly answering to external investors who might have shorter-term demands.
Right, keeps them focused on their core values, perhaps?
Exactly. Allows them to pursue their own path, you could say.
And that path, as they describe it, is to, revolutionize the renewable technology industry. They want clean, efficient, sustainable energy.
Yeah. And their slogan fits right in, shaping the future through innovation and renewable technology. It's pretty direct.
Definitely ambitious.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the people running the show. The management team seems like quite an interesting mix.
It does, yeah. Looking at the key names, you see a blend of deep technical knowledge and solid business background. Ashutosh Verma, the chairman, he's got an M.Tech in computer science.
Okay.
Background in cybersecurity, embedded tech, robotics, AI. A lot going on there.
A real tech focus.
For sure. And interestingly, the presentation points out he innovated India's first solar AC back in 2015.
Wow, 2015, so that's quite early, really. That speaks to a history of innovation there.
It does. And he's got some awards too, Jagran Achievers Award, a Renewable Energy Star from NDTV this year, so some recognition there.
Good validation. And then there's J.S. Prasad, the director and CEO. He's an IMA alum, over 35 years experience. Kodak, SmithKline, big names.
Yeah, that brings serious corporate experience. That kind of seasoned leadership it's invaluable for scaling up.
Absolutely. And then Sanjay Marwad, joint director, also 35 plus years, but more in sales and management at places like Sucam, Genus Powers, even Kelvinator.
Right, so that's practical on-the-ground experience in getting products like these, into the market. Super important.
Yeah, definitely need that sales muscle. They also list Sarika Jantav as an additional director, SME, CRM, healthcare background. Quite diverse. And Pankaj Tripathi, sales director, brings IT sector experience. It's interesting how they're pulling from different fields.
It is. And beyond the top layer, they list out a whole back-end team. Digital marketing, IT, sales support, HR, factory managers, tech heads.
Gives you a sense of the structure.
Yeah, it shows they're thinking about the whole operation, from R&D right through to getting it installed. And they mention the factories Noida for ACs, Pune for inverters.
Ah, and that new one.
Right, a big new 30,000 Lipti factory in Surajpur. Sounds like they're gearing up to consolidate and increase production significantly.
Makes sense if they're planning growth. Okay, products. The main ones are clearly the solar air conditioner, the solar hybrid inverter.
Yep, those are the headliners.
But they also list additional products, oxygen and hydrogen machines, and something called a TRXAV machine. Could they explain how those fit in?
The presentation doesn't go deep on those specifically. It's more of a mention. It might hint at broader R&D interests or maybe future diversification.
Possibly.
But what they do emphasize is their patented R&D in clean and renewable energy. So they're not just assembling things, they're creating tech.
That's a key point. And IIT Kanpur invested 50 lakhs for a 2% stake.
Yeah, that's significant.
Right.
Having a name like IIT Kanpur involved, even with a relatively small stake, adds a lot of credibility. It suggests the technology has potential.
And validates their R&D somewhat. Plus, they mentioned the products have been out since 2015, so they're time-tested, as they put it.
Right, not brand new concepts hitting the market. They've presumably learned a few things along the way.
Okay, let's circle back to their overall vision and mission. They want to be a top Indian company in clean energy, specifically lowering carbon emissions, aligning with India's climate goals. That environmental angle seems really baked in.
Absolutely. And you see that very clearly when they talk about their cooling solutions. They call it economical low-carbon comfort cooling.
Right.
They point out the AC market in India is huge, 45,500 crores now?
Yeah, massive.
And projected to grow 4x by 2030. But here's the catch. They highlight all that growth could seriously jeopardize climate goals because of the energy use.
And that's where their solar AC comes in, presumably.
Exactly. They claim it cuts carbon emissions and running costs by 60 to 80%. That's a big number.
Huge. Especially with government and private sector targets aiming for, like, 50% reduction in cooling emissions by 2030.
Precisely. So the timing seems right. They also say the products are tested and trusted by well-known clients, though they don't name names in this document.
Okay. What about the other main product, the inverters?
Right. The Moseta solar, off-grid, and hybrid lithium battery inverters. They stress they innovated India's first lithium battery solar inverter, launched in 2021.
Lithium, not lead acid. That's a step up, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Lithium ferrous phosphate batteries, specifically. They claim a lifespan over 15 years, which is much longer than traditional batteries. Plus, they're more efficient, lighter.
And the design.
Compact, portable, wall-mountable. They come in different power ratings, 850 VA, 3400 VA, 5000 VA, so options for different needs.
Seems practical. And how does this fit the bigger picture in India?
Well, you've got loads of sunshine, right?
Yeah.
And energy costs can be high, so solar makes sense. Plus, the government is actively promoting solar. And crucially, they recently added battery inverters to the subsidy scheme. That opens up a huge market for exactly this kind of product.
Ah, okay. So government policy is creating a tailwind for them here.
It certainly looks that way. Big opportunity.
So where are they headed? The way forward for Moseta, as the presentation calls it.
They emphasize, that their tech is mature, it's proven, they have ambitious targets focused squarely on renewables and clean energy.
They keep hammering that low carbon emission point.
They do. Strong R&D, continuous innovation, that's the message. And they have a concrete example.
Yeah.
They're the green energy partner for UFO movies.
Right, equipping 250 cinema complexes in Tier 3 towns. That's a visible project.
It is. Good showcase. They also mentioned talks with Reliance Industries about energy-efficient ACs.
Interesting.
And a very large South-based industry for their solar inverters, plus trying to work with state governments for large-scale supply deals.
So multiple avenues B2B, potential large industrial clients, and government contracts.
Yeah, covering a few bases there.
Let's talk numbers. These projections seem, well, ambitious. 150 crore year 1, 600 crore year 2, over 1,000 crore in year 3.
They are definitely aiming high. They put that against the market sizes 45,500 crore for ACs, over 9,000 crore annually for solar hybrid inverters.
So even a small piece of that pie is significant.
Exactly. Their goal for FY 2025-26 is to capture 0.27% of the total market, which they estimate at around 550 crore.
Okay, that puts the 1,000 crore target in perspective. But I thought there was another mention of 150 CR turnover in 3 years somewhere.
Yeah, that figure is mentioned earlier. It could be an older projection or maybe a different scenario. It's not totally clear from this document alone, but the headline numbers they're pushing now are definitely the bigger ones.
Understood. Ambition is clear. How are they reaching the market now? Their network?
They've been busy appointing stockists across quite a few states. Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, down south in Telangana, Kerala, west in Mumbai, Pune, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and up north, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Uttarakhand.
I read a lot of ground.
Yeah, this was apparently done between late 2023 and planned through October 2024. And under those stockists, they have about 25 distributors appointed.
Okay, so building that channel, what about bigger deals?
They mentioned a recent focus on institutional sales for bulk orders. They say they've bagged orders, but again, no specifics on who from in this presentation.
Got it. Now, there's a mention of a business plan, but also a challenge.
Yes, this was interesting. They say they attached a business plan, but then add they could not work as per the business plan due to serious financial constraints.
Ah, reality check.
Yeah, it's quite candid, actually. It highlights a real hurdle. Having the plan is one thing, having the